Take a step back in time a few years and BlackBerry was everywhere. If you were a techie, you probably had a BlackBerry. However, as time went on, the brand faded away, replaced by Apple and Samsung and all the other smartphone manufacturers. But in late 2015, the company launched their latest smartphone, the Blackberry Priv. Now, as the company's first Android smartphone, it has a lot of ground to make up and a lot to prove. Is it any good? Let's find out. I'm Ben with iTech Triad, and this is our video review of the Blackberry Priv. Now, one of the first things you'll notice on the Priv is its design. Now, at a glance, it looks like any average smartphone. However, when you pick it up, there's a substantial feel which is great in the hand. Now, the phone feels good in the hand, and thanks to the incredible amount of grip on the back, you won't really need to worry about dropping it. The build lacks the premium feeling of a metal smartphone, but it certainly doesn't feel cheap by any means at all. Now, hopping over to the front, you get a look at the 5.4-inch Quad HD AMOLED display with dual curved edges. Now, the display itself is solid, comparable to other devices out on the market right now, such as the Nexus 6P, but it's not quite as good as something like the Galaxy S7. But taking a look at those dual edges, you'll notice that this isn't exactly the same as what Samsung uses on their edged smartphones. Now, the display doesn't really curve as much, with mainly the glass itself curving. But that said, BlackBerry does make use of this feature in their software with the Productivity Edge. Now, this allows users quick and easy access to their to-do list, emails, calendar, and even their favorite contacts. Now, personally for me, it wasn't quite as useful as the Edge panel found on the Galaxy S7 Edge, but it will prove useful to those using it daily in business. But speaking of the software, the Priv runs Android 5.1.1 Lollipop out of the box, with a near stock build of the OS. Now, it's lagging a little bit behind, with Android Marshmallow already been out for a while, but personally I haven't really missed it on this phone. However, one thing BlackBerry has committed to in terms of updates is security updates. Every month BlackBerry will roll out an Android security patch, as well as their own necessary software updates, and they've also confirmed that Marshmallow is coming soon, and they've actually been very quick with these security updates, releasing them in sometimes even faster than Google. Now, performance on the Blackberry Priv is good. The Snapdragon 808 processor and 3GB of RAM runs everything just fine. There's not much lag, but I do notice quite a few dropped frames from time to time, and the phone does heat up after quite a bit of use. It's no deal breaker, but it's just something to note. Now, while the Blackberry Priv does pack a near stock build, it doesn't mean that the company hasn't baked in their own features. Now, I've already mentioned the Productivity Edge, but that's not all. One big feature is BlackBerry Hub, which gathers all your emails, social media notifications, text, calls, and more into one central location where you can manage everything. You also get apps like BlackBerry Messenger and enhanced security that BlackBerry is famous for, which is great for businesses who might be interested in the product. Now, even with the focus being in security and productivity, BlackBerry didn't forget about customization, and they've included quick launch shortcuts which you can completely customize, as well as native icon pack support on the launcher. And I'll go ahead and link the icon pack I'm using right here down below. Now, let's go ahead and talk about the highlight of this phone, the keyboard. Now, built into the Priv is a hardware keyboard which is quite excellent. At first, you'll be slow, sloppy, and just really bad at using this keyboard, but if you keep using it, you'll get pretty quick. Over my few weeks of testing, I was able to get fairly proficient on the keyboard, although I'm still a little bit quicker on my Nexus 6P. Now, the keyboard's tactile feel is great, and with the LED backlight, you'll even be able to use it at night or in a dark room. However, what's great about this keyboard is that it's not just a keyboard, it also doubles as a means of navigation. Now, on the home screen, you'll be able to swipe between screens or up or down in your app list just by swiping over the keys on the keyboard. And this is great, but I found it especially useful when browsing the web, as my finger wasn't covering up any of the content. Now, on the back of the Priv, you'll find an 18 megapixel camera, which is fine. There's really nothing all that special about it, but it gets the job done. Now, other devices like the Galaxy S7, the Note 5, and the Nexus 6P all pack better sensors, but for most use cases, this camera is just fine. Now, battery life on the Priv is also a big highlight, with the 3450 mAh battery providing all-day use with no problem. There's also fast charging and wireless charging, both features I love to see. So at the end of the day, is the Blackberry Priv worth buying? Well, that all depends. At $649 off contract, it is by no means cheap. But I wouldn't say buying it unlocked is all that overpriced. At carriers, however, it is quite expensive, asking over $30 a month on most payment plans from AT&T, Verizon, and T-Mobile. And for that money, you can get a solid phone, but I wouldn't necessarily say that it's worth the premium unless you really want that keyboard. But That's going to go ahead and wrap up this video. If you enjoyed it, be sure to drop a comment down below and let us know what you think about the Blackberry Priv. If you also want to check out full-size camera samples or learn more about the device, check out our written review, which is linked down below. Also, huge shout out to AT&T and Verizon for sending us out Blackberry Priv units. Be sure to check out the written review, as we had a second opinion from Nick Terry, who wrote the written review with his Verizon unit. But if you enjoyed the video, be sure to give it a like and subscribe for more tech videos just like this coming every week. And as always, a huge thank you for watching. We'll catch you in the next one.